Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. So this one's going to be brief. I just want to go over a few different things and really stress the point that we're pretty much just in a waiting period at this point in time. I mean, for the most part, the general trends that are happening with the implementation of the new system and the erosion of the old system, I don't see anything stopping either one of these trends. I think they'll just continue going at the pace that they have been going until we reach some type of event, some catalyst, something that happens that starts to expedite this transition even more. So that's pretty much where we stand, in my opinion. It's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And guys, I've just been business as usual. And, there's not every day that goes by, I become more bullish because every week that goes by, there's more and more information that's coming out that indicates to me that the system is going to continue to be implemented. Large corporations, banks, governments are going to continue to adopt this technology. And the alternative, the old system, is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker, leaving people being funneled into the new system by lack of alternatives, lack of viable alternatives. So that's just my general take. So Goldman Sachs, involved in some type of OTC options trade with Galaxy Digital. First one, people were making a big deal out of this. I haven't seen any more, specifics on that, but I mean, it's more of the same. Malaysia looking to make Bitcoin legal tender. We'll see what happens with that. I think that we'll get another country within the next 60 days. It's looking like that's the route that this is going. It could be Malaysia. It could be one of the other countries that are contemplating making Bitcoin legal tender, and so we'll just stay up to date on that. Still looking at potentially happening in Arizona, and just a lot of catalysts out there for this space specifically, but everything is continuing according to plan. So there's that. Also, guys, I mentioned a while back that, Michael Saylor and a lot of the billionaires, they're really starting to escalate the things that they're saying. I remember what they were saying 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and looking at what they're saying today. I mean, Michael Saylor just tweeted out a little video of this young girl talking about how crooked the banking system is. And Saylor said in the Saylor just said, for his little caption part of the video, he says, Bitcoin is an alternative to fake money generated through a click of a computer key out of thin air. Now, keep in mind, Michael Saylor is the CEO of a publicly traded company. He has shareholders. CEOs of publicly traded companies that have shareholders can't just fly off the hinges and say whatever it is that they want to say. And the fact that lots of CEOs are coming out and saying things like that at this point in time, knowing that they have very large shareholders, including BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, JP Morgan, all these other companies, and they're continuing to say these things, and we've just never really seen a point in history in my lifetime. There's always been the usual suspects that are calling out the financial system and the banking system for the fraud that it is. But now that has exploded, and every week, every month, we're seeing more and more of that. And what we're watching is a paradigm shift, in my personal opinion. And it's going to take place in the minds of the masses. And this is out with the old and in with the new. It's just my take. But the fact that Saylor's coming out and saying that now, I mean, Lord, he was talking about, dollar strong, the dollar's, the dollar's going to be the currency, Bitcoin's going to be the store of value, that's how this is going to work. That was Saylor 6 or 7 months ago. I'm sure many of you remember that. Now he's saying Bitcoin is an alternative to fake money generated through a click of a computer key out of thin air. On top of that, guys, Peter Thiel, and I'm not a fanboy of any of these billionaires, okay? I don't believe, I do believe that they are genuinely trying to warn people right now. And I think that there's a lot of information that backs up that statement. But if you weren't paying attention to anything else, you had no idea what was going on in the world, and you only were looking at what the billionaires were doing with their money, this would look like a very easy decision for most people. But with the broader landscape of all the insanity happening, of all the propaganda, of all the psychological manipulation, people can't see that for some reason. So, Peter Thiel, biggest mistake of the decade was not getting into Bitcoin earlier. Now, I don't necessarily believe that. And if you know anything about Peter Thiel, if you have not seen the video, go in YouTube and type in Peter Thiel currency that cannot be stopped. And it's a clip from 1999. And he's speaking about the future of money and finance. And he explains the system exactly like cryptocurrency. And he helped fund Vitalik and get him started on Ethereum. So, I mean, on top of this, guys, you know, Peter Thiel, I think Thiel genuinely is trying to warn people. He came out 8 or 9 months ago, said there was going to be a black swan, said he was buying gold, said he was, you know, looking at, you know, getting more Bitcoin, and he gave a speech right around that same time. And if you listen to the speech, I think it's like 30 minutes long, he was saying that, you know, he thought Satoshi Nakamoto should win the Nobel Peace Prize. This is when he was also saying that, you know, the decrepit political system is going to implode. So, you know, this is the easiest way I can put it is the way I just did. If you ignored everything else that was going on and you just completely wiped it off face of the earth and you just said, I'm just solely going to look at what the billionaires are doing with their money. If you only did that, this would be a very, very easy decision for most people. So, but because there's so many things going on, people can't see that, probably by design. So, guys, that's really all I have. You know, I mean, my plan's not going to change. I only become more bullish. I only become more bullish. That's it. And, you know, I think that given how the world is structured, given how the hierarchy is structured throughout the world, I think that looking at what the billionaires are doing and trying to mirror that as closely as I can is probably going to be a safe strategy. Because if I'm wrong, then they're wrong. And I assume that they have more information than we have and that they know what's going on and that they know what the world is going to look like in 2 or 3 years. And you can see what they're doing. So that's that. I don't really have anything else to say, guys. No real valuable insight. I got to get back with a lot of y'all on questions. I'm sorry. I have like 7 or 8 questions that I need to get around to answering. So if I haven't done that yet, I do apologize. And yeah. And guys, I will get back to doing more standard videos like on my computer going over different things. I just needed a break. You know, it was like 9 months of just straight all day, every day. And it's, you know, I've seen enough at this point in time. I mean, I saw enough months and months ago. I mean, I had the same mindset when I first got in, just because I saw the bigger picture. But I will get back into doing that at some point in time. And, you know, as this starts to mainstream more so, as crypto starts to take off, as they start to push this out through the media and they want people to get in, I will get back on and I'll start doing more educational stuff and more, you know, analysis of different things. But for the immediate time period, I'll probably just do like videos like this, give general updates, tell you what I'm doing. And but for those of you who are new, if you're new to my channel or whatever it may be, and this kind of makes sense, but it doesn't really make sense, let me know. I'm happy to give you my email, my phone number, whatever it is. Happy to connect with you individually. I don't care to charge anybody for anything ever. And I wouldn't be giving financial advice. I would just be answering basic questions that I could answer. And if I can't answer any questions, I'll let you know. I don't know the answer to this, and I'll try to point you in the right direction. So let me know if that's you and you want to connect individually outside of this. So that's really all I have. And, you know, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I think that we're going to see something coming in the foreseeable future. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know what it is. I just know that we're in a state of perpetual crisis. So there has to be more and more crises. So something else has to be coming, in my opinion. And we'll wait and see what that is. But we're kind of in a waiting game at this point in time. And there's a lot of overlap here with the movie The Big Short. If you've never seen the movie The Big Short, I highly recommend going and watching it. I had never saw it until last week. And then I went and watched it. And there's so many parallels to what's happening right now. And I said, you know, months ago that essentially what I'm doing is I'm shorting the existing economy and financial system. And that's kind of how I look at it. You know, my bet on crypto is more or less a bet that everythh else is going to fall apart. It's not exactly the same, but there are a lot of overlapping areas there. And, you know, back in the, you know, late 2000s, you know, a group of people figured out what was going on and they positioned accordingly. And I look at it very similar in this, this point in time. It's just much more out in the open now than it was back in the late 2000s. But there's also a million distractions that keep people from being able to see how out in the open this is. So that's just where we are. Okay, that's it. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm sorry, I will get back with you on all the other questions over the next day or two. Take care. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.